The Disruptive Chamber. Not your average YouTube channel, not your average podcast, causing radical change in the way you think, speak, and feel. Let's disrupt some things. Our churches need a disruption. Our world needs a disruption. Our homes need a disruption. Are you ready? Faith. Yes, faith. What does your faith in God look like? Is your natural faith the faith that you're going? Let's do that over again. I'm sorry. My phone was. I thought I turned it off. Okay, you're gonna be able to take that off, right? Yeah. Okay. Faith. Yes, we're back again. But we're talking about faith this time. We're going to disrupt your faith. Think about it. Natural faith is our ability to do things or know that it's possible to happen. But supernatural faith is going beyond our natural abilities, right? And so, man, I feel like our natural faith sometimes gets in the way of God trying to do something supernatural inside of us to the point we get ourselves in trouble or slow the process down of what God is trying to do, right? Look at Peter. Right? Luke chapter 5, verses 4 through 11, right? Jesus comes on a boat with Peter and tells Peter, hey, cast your net on the other side. Peter's, his natural ability of being a fisherman saying, man, I know there's no fish to be caught. There's no fish to be caught. Listen, I've done it. I've told all night long. I do this. And that's what happens sometimes. Our gifting says, God, I do this. So because I do this, God, I know what's the outcome every time I put forth the effort. And God is saying, listen, that's your problem. You're putting forth the effort too much. Instead of you allow me to take over and let you just sit back and just bask in what I'm going to do for you, you put your hands in stuff. You put your hands in the cookie jar. You put your hands in the cookie jar. And I'm telling you, hey, take your hand out of the cookie jar and let's bake these cookies the right way. Don't go for the instant cookies. Don't go for the Oreos. Hey, let's get the flour and the eggs and the baking powder, baking soda, right? And the salt and make these cookies the right way. But no, we because we've so used to being a part of something, or we're so used to creating the thing that we do, that we think our natural faith is good enough. Can I tell you that it's not? I've learned that my ability to even talk, right? It's me needing God to even word my mouth as I'm talking to you guys today is supernatural. Supernatural. Can I tell you why? I was driving here today and God disrupted like this whole episode, right? I was going to do this episode, another episode. God was like, I got something for you, Tony. I need you to talk to my children about their faith. And not just their faith in me, but their faith in general. Their faith is in themselves. It stops them from going beyond. It stops them from stretching and going, like I said, going beyond what their thoughts or the way they think about themselves. I was like, oh, okay, God. And so I began to think about it. Peter, he probably fished all his life. His family. It probably was passed down to him, right? So, my family do this. My grandfather's fathers do this. My uncles do this. Jesus, what you mean cast my net on the other side? This is my first time ever meeting you. You're not even a fisherman. You're a carpenter. Like, you're a carpenter's son, right? And that's what we think, because that's what we think. We think that because God places people in our lives, right? And they begin to speak things in their life because they don't walk the same walk we talk or talk the same. God sends people in your life to disrupt your faith so you can get back in alignment and go and stretch yourself beyond what you can think, right? Your imagination. You putting your hands in things. Are you allowing God to stretch your faith? Or are you just using your natural abilities in everything that you do? those who are fashion designers and those who are singers and stuff, right? You because you've been writing this way, or you've been doing these patterns this way, right? So I do this. Graphic designers, God, I've been doing this for so long, God. You can't. What more can you teach me, the creator? That's how we talk to the creator. What more can you teach me? Imagine Peter telling you, what more can you teach me? How you gonna teach me how to fish? I do this. And that's what our natural faith does. Our natural faith. I looked at the word natural. It's a person's regard as having a gift or talent for a particular task or activity. Right? Because I'm gifted at this thing, then I feel like there's no more. I've done enough. I've mastered it. Jesus is like, you haven't mastered fishing. He goes to the point, he says, not only are you going to be fishers in this area, but I'm going to supernaturally make you fishers of men too as well. So I'm going to take you beyond your abilities. See, I've learned this. Natural faith is about you. Supernatural faith is about others. Others watch the God in you and say, you know what? I need to figure out how did you come about being who you are? We're all in this room right now, right? And naturally, this is the gifting that we're doing, right? We're putting this together. Supernatural is, guess what? Somebody's going to end up seeing this and be like, oh, I need to be a part of this. And because God has placed us on their mind or their heart. Who was a cameraman? Who was the one who was doing all the graphics? Who was? Then God says, now I'm stretching you now your natural ability, I'm going to make it bigger than what you think it is. I'm going to make it mega. I'm going to make it larger than what you think it is. Supernatural, that's what supernatural faith is. Natural faith is like, I'm being seen. Supernatural faith is God being seen. Wow. Is God being seen through the gifting that he's placed inside of you? Because you trust him so much with the gifting he's placed inside of you. Like wherever he tells you to go, you go. After a while, after Peter, he's doing his verbal war with Jesus, who created the fish, you know what I'm saying? Like who created, you know what I'm saying, all these things, right? Peter finally says, okay, let me what do you say? How do you say? Let me entertain you, right? This is what we do with Jesus sometimes. This is what we do with God. God, well, I'm gonna entertain you. I'm gonna sit back and see do you really got it, right? That's what we do sometimes. Be like, God, well, I'm gonna sit back then. I'm gonna try you and see what you do. Okay, well, cast it over then. Peter does it. Have you cast your net on the other side yet? Are you still distrusting your ability? Peter casts his net on the other side. Oh my God, it's too much. It's the nets are breaking. We need help now. Oh, Jesus says, no, don't stop. No. Bring the other, because I want the others to see what I do. Others come. That's where the supernatural is not about you, it's about others, right? So others are now going to be able to partake in what God has placed, the supernatural faith that God's placed inside of you. Peter does it, others partake in it, and they see what God can do through you saying yes to the faith that he's placed inside of you. Faith. Will you continue to just be natural in your faith? Will you continue to just use your abilities? We only use our abilities. I talk to a lot of creatives, right? Because I live in California, so I've been around a lot of creatives too as well. And I'm always encouraging them to see through the lens of God concerning them, or see greater, right? And because when you see greater, that's when the supernatural comes in. That's where the whole, like, you're going to beyond what you can even think. A lot of times we think how we start off is how we're going to end up ending. Well, you get comfortable. Natural faith makes you comfortable. I make a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars there. I'm good. As long as enough for me to have fun and get my favorite latte, or my dirty Thai dirty Thai, right? I said tea, right? Like your natural ability only does that for you. Supernatural says, oh, go own you one. Go own you something. Go own you a coffee shop, right? Just don't be okay with drinking your dirty chai. Be the one who owns the one who's creating the dirty chai. Supernatural, like your supernatural faith that God was telling Peter, no, Peter, I'm gonna teach you that people are gonna be able to partake in what you've placed, what I've placed inside of you. You've done this for so long, and I get it. You've done it, and you make things happen. People are watching you, and they know you probably the big man on campus. Peter's probably the big man on campus. He was probably making all the money. You know why? Because everybody else stopped fishing. People had to literally come now and partake in what God had did through Peter. Everybody stopped fishing. But second, Peter cast his net on the other side. Everybody got to see what it felt like to be in the supernatural presence of trusting the Father. Can you do that? Can you say, you know what, hey, I'm going to take my hands off of stuff. I know it's not easy, because guess what? You feel like that musical gift that you've gotten, you plan to keep, because you went to classes and you learned, and you thought it was the teacher who taught. No. You thought because you took a couple of courses up in videography, so it came from you going to school. No, see, supernatural is bigger than just you being taught something. God takes this gifting that he's placed inside of you and he says, hey, I'm about to make you mega. I'm about to make you big. I'm about to make you iconic. Peter in that moment was iconic. Because that's probably never been done before, where his nets was bursting open to the point that he probably was making just enough to make sure that he met the quota for the day. Supernatural says you don't meet the quota for the day. You go beyond the quota for the day. Supernatural faith. What does it look like? Have you literally tapped into it yet? Have you allowed God to allow you to tap into it yet? That means literally like taking your hands off. Oh man, my abilities at one point in my life, I was doing styling. I was styling some artists, right? I fashion styled some artists. Had a couple of clients, and I would it's easy. I'm putting it together. Until one day, an artist said, I want to dress different from how you've created me to dress before. I said, whew, I don't want the same stuff. I have to tap into that supernatural. Like, Lord, I'm gonna need you to help me with these eyes now, because if he ain't trying to if he's trying to change his whole identity up, his whole character of who he is now, and he's bringing me pictures and stuff, and as a creator, you're like, man, I don't need you to bring me something. Let me do my thing, right? I literally had to tap into God, Lord, hey, I need that work. I need you to help me. So I need my faith in you, God, to pull colors and pull different things, and so that the person can feel like, you've made me different from what I've seen, but it was exactly what I wanted. Supernatural faith, like I said, it's not about you. It's about others who will benefit from you. Natural faith, you're benefiting. You getting all the praise. People, oh my God, I love the way you do that thing. I love, and it naturally, right? We love that. We love to be pampered up and boosted up, right? So we never want to turn that down. Supernatural faith makes you turn you down. You turn you down and turn God up. God, your will. God, I trust you. Peter, like I said, Peter turned him down. He turned his family business down and turned God up so God can be in his business. Supernatural faith is putting God in your business and let him lead your business. People always say, "Oh, be the co-pilot." No. How about you just be the passenger? Co-piloting, that means you start pushing buttons and stuff, right? I don't know, God, let me push that button right there. Can I disrupt your faith? Stop pushing the button. Just put your seatbelt on and sit in the back seat and go along for the ride. Stop being the driver. My wife is funny because she's gonna be mad at me. She doesn't like to drive when she knows I'm gonna drive, right? But she likes to drive. It's funny. I'm driving. Watch out! No, I see it. Like you get what I'm saying? Like you don't trust my faith enough for me to even like drive. But you don't want to really drive. You don't want to really drive, but you halfway trust my faith of me driving. You didn't see that? Man, I'm like 5 cars ahead. I push the brakes, like it's 5 cars ahead first. Like, and God is saying that, like, can you keep your foot on your side, like, right? And that's what happens. We don't keep our foot on our side. We put our foot on the brake. We put our foot on the gas. I'm literally moving like as if I'm in a car right now, but right? Like this is what we do, right? We'll grab the wheel if we have to. We'll literally try to grab the wheel. I'm like, if you don't stop, and that's what God is telling you. If you don't stop, he told Peter, if you don't stop, just cast your net on the other side, man. Do like I told you to do. That's what happens. This is what happens to us. Our faith in us, we try to trump the faith of God. Can we not do that? Can we not trump who God is? Because what we've been accustomed to doing for so long. That's like somebody teaching you how to ride a bike.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah. Sherry wanted to be a part of this, right? That's like that's like us trying to learn how to ride a bike, right? We have a teacher, but I got this. Take your hand off now. You ain't even pedaled yet. And there you go, falling over. Scraping your knees up, getting bruises and stuff. You know what happens? We bruise ourselves when we don't allow God to take over. Our faith in ourselves, we bruise ourselves. When we start pushing God to the side and not trusting him, right? All we catch is about 100 fish. Imagine catching times 1,000 when you listen and just hearing God say, "You know what, God, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try this." No more just going off your natural ability. No more just, in verse says this, in all thy ways acknowledge him, lean not to your own understanding, and he will direct your path, right? Proverbs, right? Ephesians 3:20 says this, he will do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. That means you have to ask him, God, which way do you want me to do? God, how do you want me to do this? And start thinking what he tells you. Okay, I'm gonna think those things. Okay, then I'm gonna think those things. I'm gonna think what you tell me to do, God. Can I tell you this? The second you tap into the supernatural faith of God is the second you're gonna be able to help others. Others are gonna be able to partake in it. Others are gonna see the God in you. Not when you say, "Oh, Jesus did it." Not when you give them that, sometimes we give them that praise of like, "Oh yeah, he did it." No, and deep down inside, we be like, "I did that thing." You know what I'm saying? That's how we really feel like. We be trying to sun God sometimes. But our faith, man, our faith in God is going to burst open our nets. Our faith in God is going to have others come and partake in it. See, when you have supernatural faith, you're not selfish. It's not about you, it's about others and how others can benefit from what God has done for you. I'm going to pray for this because, listen, we're all working on this faith thing, right? Father, I thank you. Lord, I thank you, Lord, that we'll stop using our abilities and our giftings, Father, only to see things happen. Our fear in thinking, God, that because we've done it for so long, we've told so long, God, that we don't even trust, like, even you even opening up the windows of heaven and pouring us out a blessing, God. That we won't even cast our nets. Some of us are still not cast our nets on the other side. Some of us still have not cast our nets on the other side, Father. And God, I thank you, Lord, that we'll start casting our nets on the other side and trusting you so we can start tapping into the Ephesians 3:20, the exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think. God, because without you, God, nothing is possible. So next time, guys, let's disrupt some things.